We turn now to the most important historical figure that no one knows about. That's how our next guest describes former President John Quincy Adams. The new podcast, Founding Son, John Quincy's America, chronicles the story of how the sixth president of the United States went from failed one-term commander-in-chief to an extraordinary ex-president. It also details the difficult challenges he faced while in the White House.
We'll bring you inside the uprisings, legal battles, and political brinksmanship that threatened to shatter the fragile Union and the toll Adams's ambition took on his family.
The grave of my lost child. The grasping ambition, which is an insatiable passion, swallowing and consuming all in its ever-devouring maw.
As the nation reckons with its history, don't sleep on John Quincy Adams. He held the Union together across two pivotal eras and two visions for America.
Joining us now, the host of that new podcast, Bob Crawford. He's also bassist for the Grammy-nominated folk rock band, the Avett Brothers, and it's great to have you on the show. So I guess we begin by asking you, what else do we not know about John Quincy Adams?
Well, we probably don't know that he served with both Washington and Lincoln. Washington appointed him to his first diplomatic post as the minister to the Netherlands, and he served with Lincoln in Congress. We also probably don't know that he's the only president to serve in the House of Representatives. He had a failed one-term presidency, elected 200 years ago in 1824, and you guys aren't going to believe this, but there were cries of a stolen election. There was a partisan press, and there was a conspiracy theory about a deep state corrupt bargain between him and Henry Clay, who he would appoint Secretary of State. But most importantly, during his 17-year career in Congress, he brought slavery to the center of the American Congress and to the American consciousness. He brought it out from the shadows, and he fought against those in Congress he called the slaveocracy. And they tried to expel him. They tried to censure him. They passed a rule called the gag rule, where you couldn't mention slavery on the floor of Congress for 8 years. But Adams was so adept at the rules of the House that he found all kinds of sneaky ways to get it in.
So, Bob, tell us a little bit about that journey from president to then back to the House of Representatives. That's something that would seem pretty unthinkable to a modern political observer. But tell us why John Quincy Adams did that.
Well, he was embarrassed by his loss. He's the son of John and Abigail Adams. One thing that they taught him, like teach your children, they taught him public service. Public service. He witnesses at the age of 7 the Battle of Bunker Hill from a nearby overlook at his house. He can smell the cannon smoke. He sees the flash of the cannons. And he's groomed to be president. He's Monroe's Secretary of State. He negotiates the Treaty of Ghent, ending the War of 1812. So he's got probably the greatest resume to be president. But he's a minority president. His election was decided not by the American people. It was decided in the House of Representatives. So he was never seen as being legit. And in 1828, he came up against a populist leader named Andrew Jackson. And so he loses the presidency. And after the inauguration, his son, George Washington Adams, dies on his way to Washington to help his parents move back to Massachusetts. Probably a suicide. He falls off the back of a steamer ship called the Ben Franklin and dies. So he's depressed, he's crushed, and a couple of local guys come to his house one day in 1830, and they say, we think you should stand for the House of Representatives. He agrees. He doesn't tell his wife. She reads about it in the newspapers, and he gets elected, almost, by it's a complete blowout. He goes into the House and he embraces that. Like, his son looks at it as he's taking a step down. His wife looks at it as he's taking a step down. How could a president of representatives? But Adams, always the public servant, goes in, and that's where I think he made his greatest mark on American history.
It's a remarkable story.
Fascinating stories that you'll find in the new podcast entitled Founding Son, John Quincy's America. And it's available wherever you get your podcast. Bob Crawford, thank you so much.